All right, welcome back. eSIM Studios live on a Saturday evening. Hope everybody's having a good start to the weekend. Today is April 18th, 2026. Man, year's going by fast, man. Let me check my audio real quick. Hang on one second. Let me see here. Let's check the audio. Sounds good to me. Damn, I had my flashlight on for like 30 minutes. I don't even know it. All right. So, hope everybody's having a wonderful start of the weekend. I really appreciate you joining me today. I always, the one thing I really like about having what's going on, man? The one thing I really like about having a YouTube channel is I get to discuss my favorite hobby with you, the viewer, whether it's in the comments, whether it's on a live stream, whether it's behind the scenes. I like that. I like connecting with other people that have similar interests, right? I mean, we're not in high school anymore. You know, the older you get, kind of the less friends you have, right? And I work from home. So trust me, I used to work a 9 to 5 at an office since I was 15 or 16 years old, at a high school, college, but I worked part-time when I was going to school, but you get the point, you know what I'm saying? Office environment, you have work friends, stuff like that. But since I've been working at home, it's just me and the family. So it is nice to communicate. Now, I do have friends outside, and I mean, I'm not that lonely. I'm not, but I'm just saying, point is, I like discussing technology with you guys. That's why I started the channel, honestly, is because I didn't, should I say this? Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I got a strike on my channel, a community strike, because I was making a short that it's deleted now, but I was making a short. I don't even remember what it was. Sometimes I just throw this shit together and upload it. I need to, get a little better at that. But so does anybody watch Lim Reviews? I think he's out of Malaysia. He's actually one of the few tech channels that I'm subscribed to. I think I'm subscribed to him, Lim Reviews, Flossie Carter, Ben's Gadget Reviews. Flossie's the only one I think in the US that I'm subscribed to. And then Ben's Gadget Reviews is in Asia, and Lim Reviews is in Malaysia. So anyways, I got a community strike just a few days ago. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, what was it on? And I used, unknowingly, but I should have known, I threw it together too fast. I need to be more careful. So anyways, long story short, I used a 9-second video clip from a Lim Reviews video and threw it in my YouTube short, and I uploaded it to YouTube. Well, I got a community strike on that. And I reached out to, and there's two things you can do. And if you get 3 strikes, you're gone off of YouTube. So I was like, damn, I've never gotten a community strike. So I'm like, shit. So it tells you on the back end who submitted the strike and whose content you're using. And look, and it's up to everybody, right? I honestly don't care if somebody uses my content or at least a clip of it. You can't download my video and then re-upload it as your content. Then I would be like, yo, you can't do that. Honestly, it's not up to YouTube. It's honestly up to the content creator. So Lim Reviews got a notification, because I get notifications on YouTube Studio that somebody used a clip or a piece of my content for their video. I have a long list, and I let people do whatever they want to with it. And again, it's up to the creator, right? But shout out to Lim Reviews, because I actually reached out to him on the back end. I explained myself. I apologized like a man. I said, look, honestly, I just threw that clip together. I apologize. It won't happen again. I'm actually subscribed to your channel. I'm actually a big fan of yours as well. I think I've been subscribed for like 3 years. Just told him who I am. I apologize for using the clip. Can you remove the strike, please? And what do you know? A day later, he emailed me. It was like, he said, well, long list. He says, usually I don't get emails asking for, he said, usually I don't get emails asking for people to remove these strikes. And honestly, he said, it's even more rare for people to apologize. So he removed the strike. So I'm like, damn, that's awesome. And I emailed him back. Thank you very much. It won't happen again. But it's up to the creator. I could strike everybody that used my content, but I just let them use it. It's not that big of a deal to me, but everybody's different. If Lim Reviews wants to be very careful with who uses his content, and that's up to every single creator. That doesn't just go for YouTube. That goes for music, musical artists. They can sue you if you use part of their song without approval, that stuff. So if they want to. But he gave me a strike. I reached out, apologized. He removed it. I said thank you. It won't happen again. So anyways, yeah, but appreciate the time. Always flattered that people are willing to watch some stuff. And anyways, we have some big tech news to review. Apple's about to screw everybody over again. What's new? Apple's about to give everybody a community strike here. But before we jump into the news and what I'm talking about with Apple, I want to let you know about Lyca Mobile. Lyca Mobile jumped on board. They have a phenomenal product. And look, I don't really I don't really have a lot of sponsors. I don't have really a lot of sponsored content. And quite honestly, I don't trust these companies. What's going on, man? Glad. Thank you for joining us today. I normally don't have a lot of sponsors. And if you want the God's honest truth, I think I could show you. I might need to at some point. I think I've done that in the past where I don't show the email, even though I probably should because they're probably scammers. But you would be shocked how many emails I get from people wanting to do sponsor content. And I always look, there are so many scammers out here. I just look at everybody as scammer. I have to thoroughly vet each and every person or company that emails me because so many of them are scammers. That I don't really have that much sponsored content. I could take the risk and start doing that. And I'm sure once you get bigger, once your YouTube channel gets bigger, there's certain ways to vet these companies. I can reverse search them on the back end. You know how it says, a company would be like Jerry at Samsung.com, right? Well, these scammers get clever because it says Jerry at Samsung or at Samsung.g. They change one little piece of their email to make it look like it's from Samsung, but it's really not. And you got to be real clever and pick that up. I have tons. I mean, just email after email after email after email. I don't have that much time to be vetting these people. But I did find a good one. Lyca Mobile. All that to say this. Lyca Mobile, they have phenomenal plans. This is just one of many. So you're gonna be shocked when you hear how much this is per month. 18 gigs high-speed 5G data per month. 10 gigs high-speed 5G hotspot data per month. Unlimited talk, unlimited text to over 100 countries around the world. All for just $7.50 per month. This is a fantastic opportunity if you need a second line, if you're starting a side hustle, if you have a teenager and you want to get them a line. And look, they have unlimited data plans too that are really, really good priced, very inexpensive. And they use the big boy towers out there. This is not some rinky-dink service. It's using the good stuff. So a link is down below in the description. I also have some other fantastic deals. WinZip, right? Computers, VPNs. I just created a partnership with Surfshark, great VPN service, and ExpressVPN. So everything down below. It's one way to support the channel, right? But let's get into what's going on with Apple, because this is kind of crazy. So, show notes. If you want to dig a little deeper into the items, the topics that we're talking about, click my title. It'll expand the description box. You'll see a section where it says show notes. Simply click on that and it'll take you right to the source and more information of what we're talking about. So, Apple is about to screw over hundreds of thousands. I'm pretty sure millions at this. Yeah, definitely millions at this point. Apple is getting ready to screw y'all. And I say y'all because I don't I don't have a MacBook. That one MacBook I got, I just couldn't get used to it and I returned it. I can't do Apple. I've tried over and over and over. I just can't do it because of this. Well, this is one of the many reasons why Apple has a very clever, dare I say, devilish. I'm not gonna go that far, but they're looking to screw users over. Let's be honest, right? Let's call a spade a spade. They're looking to screw you over, and they're about to do that big time. Apple's strategic move, MacBook Neo and MacBook OS update, is going to drive upgrades and sales for Apple into the millions, if not hundreds of millions. So everybody knows Apple's recent launch of the MacBook Neo at a competitive $500 price point was very strategically designed to encourage customer upgrades, right? And it's been so good for them. In fact, we've talked about it here on this show. They've sold out of MacBook Neos. They've had to go back to TSMC and ask them to remanufacture the A17 CPUs that they put inside the MacBooks. They're having to make millions more because they've sold out of these things. Now, check this out. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Apple announced that, is it the A18 Pro? Okay, my bad. Yeah, thank you. Apple announced that macOS 27, get this, macOS 27, we're talking about macOS, MacBook Neos, right? macOS 27 will only be compatible. This is an upcoming software update that all macOS devices are getting, right? And it's coming out really, really soon. So Apple announced that macOS 27 will only be compatible with M series MacBooks and the new MacBook Neo, effectively phasing out support for Intel-powered MacBooks. This decision is expected to drive a significant upgrade cycle as users with older Intel-based MacBooks will be compelled to purchase newer models to access the latest software features and security enhancements. So, despite initial supply chain concerns with the MacBook Neo selling out rapidly, Apple appears to be preparing for a substantial demand driven by this calculated software obsolescence strategy. So, Apple is going to push an update to all MacBooks, and it's going to end support for Intel-based Macs. Now, I think I know they're on M5, so they're basically on the 5th year of their M series powered chipsets, and they're also including the Neo because it's so new. Of course, they can include whatever chipsets they want to. They're just choosing to exclude the Intel chipsets. So that basically means if you have a MacBook that's 5 years or older, that's the end of the road for you. And with all I was just getting into, with all the scamming that's out there, with all the security risks, this is going to force people to upgrade. Now, Apple's going to be very strategic about this because I just mentioned that, okay, so let's say I have, what was the last year? I think it was 2020 was the last Intel based. Was it 19 or 20? Something around there, right? I knew right around 2020 somewhere around there, is when they upgraded to their M class chips. Let's say I want to upgrade, right? Well, let's say I don't want to be left out in the dry and don't want to have any security problems or potential problems here in the future, or there may be some features that you might be looking forward to that you're just not going to get now. Well, what are your upgrade options? Now, of course, you can always buy a used MacBook, but honestly, I don't know what the percentages are, but I'm assuming the typical Apple user and or MacBook user is probably going to buy a new MacBook. Now, you can jump into their base MacBook, which is the Neo. I think it's right around $599, something like that. But if you need something a little more power, maybe you do light video editing, maybe you use your MacBook for work environment and you just need a little more power, a little more memory, well, you're going to have to get a MacBook Air, which is going to essentially double the price of the Neo. And then if you want to go pro style, you're going to be shelling out $2,000, $2,500. And they're going to sell a ton of these because I guarantee you, people don't want to be left out high and dry. When you start using an end of life device and you're hung out there to dry when it comes to security, because features I don't mind so much, it's the whole security thing. You want that peace of mind. You don't want to be guessing, should I open up this email, should I open up this attachment, oh damn, should I scan this PDF file, what about this XML file? You don't want to be doing that, second guessing everything you click on. I mean, I kind of do that now, but really, if I didn't get any updates, no security updates on anything I used, I would triple guess everything. Now, Apple's not going to push this macOS 27 update out tomorrow, right? I'm not saying you got to go out and upgrade tomorrow, but I think what they're going to do, because let's think about this. So if they just sold out of all their Neos, they know they don't want to push this update out. Actually, if they did that, that would be all-time dickhead move by Apple, because what I was just thinking is they're probably going to wait for the MacBook Neo to restock. They're going to wait for them to manufacture more CPUs, manufacture more MacBook Neos, and put them on the shelves. This is what I was thinking. And then push out the macOS 27 update. And then those forcing people to essentially upgrade and having that MacBook Neo option there if they want to upgrade. But if they want to be enormous dickheads, what they can do is, because the Neo's basically sold out right now. I don't know when they're going to get back in stock. Could be a couple months, 3 to 4 months maybe. I don't know how fast they can throw them together. But what if Apple push this update out like next week and all the MacBook Neos are sold out? So the only thing you have left to upgrade to is a $1,000 MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, which is, you're talking, 50. I don't even know what they are brand new. I think, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000, but they go up to like $3,000, shit, even more. That would really be sticking it to the consumer. I don't know where they're going to go on that. I don't know where they're going to fall on this upgrade. I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's the next update coming out. I just don't know when they're going to push it. You see what I'm saying? Are they going to wait to stock the shelves with Neo and then push the update? Or are they going to say, screw y'all, buy a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro? I could see them doing either or. My guess is I would wait for MacBook Neo, because if all that's available is the Air and the Pro, I think a lot of people are not going to buy brand new. I mean, I'm sure a lot will, but there's some that are like, I don't want to be forced to spend $2,000, $2,200, $2,500 on a brand new laptop. They'll probably go and buy, I don't know, M2 or M3 MacBook Pro. You see what I'm saying? And you look, those still are not cheap, but probably going for about half the price, something like that. But this is very Apple. Uh, Honestly, I don't expect anything less. This is why I love to troll them, because they love to stick it to their consumers. And again, we talked about it just the other day. Apple users are brainwashed and they're just going to go out and buy one. But, it kind of comes to this update thing where at some point you're going to have to upgrade. But again, it's only been what? I guess since, let's see, if you're saying the first M series model, the first M series chipset was in November 2020. So we're in 26, but it hasn't been 6 years. It's probably been what, 5.5 years, something like that then. So if you're only giving your MacBook 5.5, now that was Intel. Excuse me. I can see them supporting their M series class chipsets for a longer period of time. I'm sure Apple's dying to kick Intel chipsets to the curb, because it's just a lot of warranty crap they got to deal with. They don't want to be supporting Intel anymore. They want to, be as far away from Intel as possible. So I'm sure they're dying to push this update out. I'm sure they're dying for you, if you have a MacBook, to upgrade to an M series class chipset. you know, I just don't know how big a dickheads they're going to be. Are they going to wait for the Neo to stock on the shelves, or are they going to say, screw you, F you, pay me, basically, screw you, pay me, and force you to buy an Air or a Pro? I don't know, but does not surprise me. There's no better laptop in that price point, even with an LCD 60 hertz display. Yeah, even with that CPU, I have not seen them in stores. I have not even watched one review on YouTube, but they do make good products. Again, I have no problem with her. I mean, again, I don't really mind the hardware. I think they look pretty good when it comes to the phones, to the tablets, to the laptops. It's just using it, then I have a problem. So I think my axe that I grind with Apple is more software side and more company wise, than it is their hardware. But yeah, I know they've and I don't know what took them so long. It seems like such a no-brainer to put out a inexpensive MacBook, that they could have had these sales. They would have had sold out products of this Neo whenever they put it out. So I just don't know what took them so long. You hope companies that make I hope companies make laptops, MediaTek or Snapdragon phone chips, like a tablet with securely attached trackpad keyboard. I think in the future you're going to see that. Now, I don't know about phone CPUs, but they have with Snapdragon getting into the second generation of their ARM chipsets for desktops. I think that's where you're going to see them potentially put out. In fact, I believe they already have one in the works. It's a low-cost Snapdragon ARM chipset that's going to directly compete against this MacBook Neo. I don't think they're ready. I could have sworn I don't think I covered it on this channel, but I saw something maybe about a month ago saying that Snapdragon's working on an ARM chipset to directly compete against the MacBook Neo. So you're going to see that come out, and it's ARM based, so it's, just like kind of like phones, but it's not going to be a super powerful chipset, but I think it'll last you. It fully capable of doing 99% of what people do online, or use computers for. So MediaTek, they do have Chromebook CPUs. I'm interested to see what. Speaking of the new Pixel book, Google's coming out with a brand new Pixel book. I believe they're releasing them with the Pixel 11 series this year. I've been working on it for a few years now. This is going to be a premium laptop, so I would like to see them come out with a sub-premium. I would like to see them come out with a premium laptop Pixel book and a entry-level Pixel book. Now, we don't know what they're going to use chipset wise. I'm expecting them to use Qualcomm. Of course, I don't know. I could see them using a Tensor chip in their Pixel book, which on first thought, doesn't really sound like a good idea. you know, I mean, they can't even barely power their phones. How are they going to power a laptop? But we'll just have to wait and see. I would like to see them team up with MediaTek or potentially Snapdragon for their Pixel books. But we'll just have to wait and see. I think it's still a little too early. I'm sure they already have it planned out, but they're in talks behind the scenes. But we'll have to wait and see. I do know MediaTek does power some Chromebooks, but those are like budget Chromebooks. I don't know. I'm excited to see where this aluminum OS is going to go. I fully plan on buying one when they come out, the Pixel Book laptops. So it should be Android, desktop-based Android. So I think it's a fantastic idea as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. I just hope it doesn't come with shitty specs. Give me at least 16 gigs of RAM. I typically need 32, but that's for Windows. I think 16 would be fine for aluminum-based operating system. Potentially even 12 gigs of RAM, but give us 16. Damn it. Hello, how's it going? How you doing today? Green 9227. Let's see here. So we'll have to see where this goes. I'll let you know if you're a MacBook user. I'm sure I don't have a lot of Apple users watching me because I love to shit on Apple, but I'll keep everybody updated. Maybe you have a MacBook, right? That you got to have for work or something. But I had a MacBook Air. I just couldn't do it. I'm good. I'm good. Okay. So did everybody see? Does anybody read and or are aware of Consumer Reports? My dad loves Consumer Reports. He's like, I'm like, Dad, I'm thinking about getting a new washer and dryer. And he's like, oh, Consumer Reports says such and such and such is the best washer and dryer. Or I'm like, Dad, you need a new router. Why don't you go into these Google routers that we got here? Oh, Consumer Reports says such and such is the best router. I don't know if it's like an older generation thing. He loves Consumer Reports. Or he's like, oh, well, yeah, Consumer Reports didn't rate it that well. I'm like, well, okay. It's one of those things. But Consumer Reports came out with the very best phone. The very best phone rankings. Now, you're hesitant to trust Consumer Reports? Yeah, maybe it's a boomer thing. I don't know how old you are. I think it's it's a 50 and up thing. Because Consumer Reports was around for when I was a little kid and he was, my age. They've been around for years. I don't read their publications. I don't follow anything they say. I can't even tell you the last time I visited their website. It used to come in paperback. It used to come in a magazine like Time magazine or Newsweek. Guess what? We used to get them every month. I would see my dad would get Consumer Reports. But Consumer Reports now has phone rankings. And guess what phone they put at number 1? Can you guess? Was it iPhone? Was it the iPhone Air? Maybe? Was it the S25 FE? Was it iPhone 17 Pro? All wrong. Was it the Pixel? No, not a Pixel. It was the S26 Ultra. The S20. I was kind of surprised. I was like, was I surprised? Not really, but was I kind of like, huh? Scratching my head. Yeah, maybe. The S26 Ultra tops the Consumer Reports rankings for smartphones in the world, any smartphone, anywhere. So the S26 Ultra has been recognized by Consumer Reports as the very best smartphone currently available to purchase, excelling in key areas such as display quality, camera performance, and battery life. Makes you wonder, did they really test this thing? Because, I would say it's a pretty good phone, and I really don't, I don't have any gripes about it, but there's been a lot of people, but I still think the S25 Ultra has a better display. Battery life, pretty good, but not legendary, not like OnePlus 16. Cameras, certainly nothing to brag about. Uh, it's kind of like, uh, I need, you know what it is? I think, dare I say, they pay Consumer Reports to put this out because I don't know if it's, I mean, again, it's a good phone and I would recommend it, but what did they say? It says excelling, the S26 Ultra excels in key areas such as display quality, camera performance, and battery life. I'm like, that's not even like the top features that I would honestly describe. That would not be at the top of my list of things that I would be trying to promote. The top rating is attributed to the device's balanced integration of hardware, software, leading to an overall excellent performance score from the rigorous testing organization. Key specs contributing to this high ranking include a blah 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 6.9-inch AMOLED display, 3000 nits peak brightness, custom Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, 200 megapixel primary sensor, and a 5000 milliamp hour battery with 60-watt charging. But they didn't tell you that 200 megapixel sensor is like 5 years old. They didn't tell you that 5000 milliamp hour battery is actually lithium ion, not the latest silicon carbon, and it's actually small for an ultra phone nowadays, which are like 7,000 milliamp hours. And 60-watt charging, it is faster this year than last year. It's not OnePlus fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all just really generic crap that they just pulled out of the air. A notable feature highlighted, of course, is the privacy display, designed to prevent unwanted viewers from either side, which Consumer Reports views as a significant step forward in smartphone screen technology. The S26 Ultra has also garnered other accolades, including quote-unquote Best in Show at Mobile World Congress, reinforcing its status as a leading device for consumers globally. Available in the United States starting at $1,300, the phone's premium price point is justified by its top-tier performance and features as validated by Consumer Reports. Okay. Yeah, that's you're watching on your MacBook Air? Ooh, you got the 32 gig one. Nice. The one that I had that I tested out for a couple weeks was the 16 gig of RAM. I couldn't find a 32 gig. I think they were all sold out. I typically I need a lot of RAM. So I mean, that wasn't the issue. I just couldn't get, just couldn't get used to it. I'm not an Apple user. It'd be like you if you all you used Apple was your whole life, and then you tried to use a Windows machine, or you switched to Android. Even though I think Android is easier and more intuitive than iOS, but you get the point, right? So, but that's definitely a nice laptop there. What's up, hey Dub? Good evening to you too, sir. Appreciate you joining me today. If only Samsung implemented silicon carbon batteries, only if. Now they are working on, we talked about that maybe a month ago. They're working on something similar. It's like silicon carbon 2.0. It's their version of silicon carbon, although it's not technically described as silicon carbon, because they honestly cannot source enough silicon carbon. There's just not that much material, physical silicon carbon in the world to supply all of the phones that they sell. So they had to essentially, I don't know if they made this tech up on their own, or if somebody else patented it and they're just paying them to use the technology. But I do know they're working on a denser battery material that's going to be a next generation from their typical lithium ion batteries that's in the S26 series. It's called something like silicon carbon, but it's not. But I'm hoping they implement this in the S27 series. I think they're shooting for the S27 Pro and S27 Ultra. If not S27 series, it'll definitely be S28 series. I've heard they're actually really, really close. to with all their testing, with all the R&D. I just don't know if the time wise in the time frame, if it's going to be, line up with the release of the S27 series. Because remember, they actually put everything together. If the S27 series comes out in, they got to have everything together because they start manufacturing these. If they get released in February, they start putting them together, manufacturing these in like November, December. So that means even before that, they got to have all their testing, all their R&D done, but even before November, December, probably September, October. So we only got like another 4 months left, but I've heard they're really, really close. So we'll just have to wait and see, but it's a long time coming. There's a noticeable difference when you use a phone with silicon carbon battery. A noticeable difference. The battery, it's hard to kill. Charge is super fast, and it'll change your life. So honestly, if you go get a OnePlus 15, even that Motorola Signature that I used, long battery life, charges like that, and you can make them slim too. So they'll get there. Apple will be the last company to jump on board, but Samsung sure is taking their time. Yeah, definitely Samsung needs to step their game up. I've been using my Oppo Find N6. Oh, nice. And my battery gives me 2-day use, and that's using the big display. Damn. See, that has silicon carbon in there. So it'll change your life. I know. That's like moving to this S26 Ultra. I may have to put my SIM back in my OnePlus 15. It's hard to kill the battery. Especially with no SIM in there. When it's just running on Wi-Fi, thing lasts for 3 or 4 days. I mean, it's incredible how long these batteries last now. So that's what I'm saying. This Consumer Reports thing, I'm like, I mean, I get it. It might be one of the better Android phones, but God, they still have so far to go. Honestly, they could make it so much more of a badass phone. Yet it's just like taking baby steps with these devices, with these features. They're just taking their time on everything. And it comes down to money, obviously, because if they did put everything in there that we wanted in there, like silicon carbon battery, like brand new freaking cameras in the all new camera system, you're looking at a phone, instead of $1,300, you're going to be looking at a phone that at the very cheapest, it's like $1,500, $1,600. So they have a price point they got to stick to. But for those that want everything under the sun in the phone, I kind of think they need to make one for us. Now, I know they're making introducing a Pro model next year. And from what I understand, it's going to be the Ultra and just minus an S Pen. But also, if you dig through those stories that came out a few weeks ago, it sounds like they're going to take that the S27 Pro is actually going to be better than the Ultra, meaning they're going to take the money they saved and not putting an S Pen in the Ultra and saving that money that they're not going to have to do Bluetooth certification on each device. They're going to take that money, that little chunk of money that they saved, and upgrade something else inside of that phone, whether it's a brand new camera sensor or whether it is a silicon carbon battery or something like that. That's kind of what it looks like they're going to do. So I hope they go that route. Me personally, I wouldn't mind paying a little extra for better specs. I mean, that's just me. I want the best specs. That's like we haven't had a perfect phone yet, ever. Now, I know there's some phones out there that are pretty nice, pretty freaking nice, and pretty close to being like a perfect phone, but there's just not. There has not been a phone produced that has the very best cameras, the very best battery life, the very fastest charging, the very best display, the very best, front-facing selfie camera. There's just not. Each and every phone that's been put out, I don't care what phone it is, it's always, even if it's a phone that's at the very top that everybody praises, there's still 1 or 2 features on there that could be improved, or there's still 1 or 2 features on there that another phone beats out. You see what I'm saying? So we'll just have to wait and see. But I sure hope they do something with this Pro Pro model next year, because that's the one I'm going to get. I think, to be quite honest with you, I use my S Pen a lot, but geez, I don't know. If it has better specs, I'm probably going to get it, to be quite honest with you. Bradley, what's going on? Yes, thank you. You too. Yo, what's going on? My Pixel guy, Pixel 11 Pro XL, is going to cook up something. Yes, I'm sure you know about the Pixel Glow already. We discussed that yesterday. Looks pretty cool. But again, if they don't get the GPU right, that's where everybody's going to criticize them. Now, they're working on it. Remember, they're working on it. But even if they bring the Pixel Glow, which is pretty cool, I like that. It's still not going to be enough, because it's still going to get beat out by Pixel 8 on benchmarks. Not going to look good. But let's just say they get the GPU right, and it may not be the very best. Like, it may not be S20 Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 good as far as on benchmarks. If they can at least get it to a respectable point, it's pretty embarrassing. If they can just get it halfway to the Snapdragon 8 Elite benchmarks, not like OpenCL and the Vulkan GPU testing benchmarks, if they can just get it halfway there, I think that would be respectable. I think they would have a very, very good device on their hands. Yeah, it should be a good phone. My only gripe is if they get everything on there, the Pixel Glow, the GPU, the GPU they get working right. My only gripe with the Pixel would be the 200 charging cycle limit thing, because I'm gonna essentially sell the phone after 6 months, or at least I am. You know, y'all can do whatever you want, but I have a Pixel 10 here. It's on like Pixel 10 Pro. I need to make a video. It's on 232 charging cycles, and it takes forever to charge. I just stopped using it. I'm like, what's the point? When I have a OnePlus 15 that charges in 30 minutes, I have this that charges in 40 minutes. I just don't use it. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know I'm not the average person. Not everybody has 3 phones, but that would drive me insane if that was my only cell phone. Like, I only get, let's say I just bought one flagship phone a year. You know, like most tech enthusiasts, just get one phone a year, upgrade to one phone a year. Most people upgrade once every 3 years, but I'm talking about people that enjoy technology. Once a year, upgrade, right? That would drive me insane. It takes forever to charge. It takes like over an hour and a half to charge the phone. Why do that? Why do that to myself, right? So I would get the 11 Pro XL. I would enjoy it for 6 months, and then I would sell it. So I don't know. It looks like they're still going to put that on there. But other than that, they have a fantastic opportunity to win back some fans if they can get this GPU thing figured out. You're not holding on to your breath, that Sam. No upgrades, anything. Well, very true. When Samsung nails Exynos, I think it'll be good for their company to become more independent. I do too. I guarantee you, it's like sticking a knife in the Samsung executives and just twisting it around. Man, they would kill to have a CPU like Apple, right? Dare even I say Google. Look, the Tensor is absolutely nothing to brag about, but I mean, it's consistent. I mean, it may be consistently low on benchmarks, but it's not like Samsung over here where it's hit or miss. It's either they got something good or it's just total trash. At least the Tensor is consistent, right? Yeah, I bet, and that's why you see them trying so hard over the last 2 years, because they need this to work. They desperately need this to work. That may be right there the very reason why we don't get the very best specs. They're paying $282 per CPU to Qualcomm per device. That is insane. They could probably, if they use their own Exynos CPUs, probably spend about half that buying their own product. You know, probably 110, 120, 130 bucks per device. Then they can turn around, use that money, that extra $140, their savings, that they don't have to go out and buy Qualcomm CPUs for these devices. They can go put new sensors in. They can go put that new battery tech in there. See what I'm saying? Like, it is absolutely imperative that they have their own CPUs, because look, it's Qualcomm's prices are not coming down. They're going to get more expensive, and I know Samsung doesn't want to raise the prices, so they're going to have to get this thing worked out. They're absolutely going to have to. And give them 3 years. I was hoping they would have it by the Exynos 2700 for the Samsung S27 series, but last time I looked at their yield rate for their wafers, it was at like 55%. And again, it needs to be like right around 70% for it to kind of be worth their time and effort and investment to, be successful. So it's gotten better than last year's. So maybe it's just a slow adoption rate, 3 years is probably a good time frame. Hopefully 2. But look, they would take it. Honestly, if you told them in 3 years, it's gonna be a next rough, 2 years, but within 3 years, you'll have something on your hands, they'll take it, right? They'll take it. At least be 90% as good as MediaTek or Snapdragon. Yep. Exactly. It's all, if you only have $500 to put together a project, the more you spend on one piece of that part, the less you got to spend on other parts. I don't think a lot of people kind of really look at it like that, but it's as simple as that. So yeah, if they can get their own CPUs going, I think it'll make for a happier consumer, because then they don't necessarily have to raise the prices to put better specs in there. But before we get out of here, if you have I'm not gonna say older, but if you have, let's say you did not upgrade to the S26, since we're speaking about Samsung, let's say you had an S25 Ultra and you're like, you know what, I'm good with this. I don't need the stupid privacy display. And you're okay with the charging and your battery life is still fine. And you're just going to sit this one out and probably, look into the S27 series when that comes out. Well, you're probably wondering when you're going to get some of the S26 exclusive AI features that were launched on these phones. Well, it looks like you're not going to have to wait long, because I got word that the S25 is set to receive a number of S26 AI features in One UI 8.5 beta. Now, it does suck. You are going to have to be on the beta, but good news is it looks like this might be the last beta, and then after that, next month, stable will roll out, and then if you have an S25, everybody should get these updates. But if you have One UI 8.5 beta, the upcoming 10th beta build, codename ZZD9, is expected to roll out soon and will introduce significant enhancements, including call screening. So these are some of the features you're going to get that are currently on the S26. You're going to get call screening. You're going to get advanced audio eraser. I've never used any of these. I don't use them. You're going to get Creative Studio, and I'm sure you think, well, you've used Creative Studio, right? No, I don't use Creative Studio. And Photo Assist, which I've never used. So these are kind of like, not necessarily gimmicky things, but I don't want to put drawing pigtails on a photo and then it puts realistic pigtails on somebody. Like, I don't want to put Mr. Banana Head on somebody. Like, I'm a 40-year-old guy. Like, what am I doing that for? I could see like high school kids doing that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Call screening, I don't even know if it's enabled on my phone. Whatever. Advanced audio eraser, never use it. It might come in handy, but just never used it. And what else is it going to bring? Call screening utilizes on-device AI to handle incoming calls by asking callers for their purpose, essentially, hey, why are you calling? And providing a transcription aiming to reduce spam and unwanted interruptions. I don't pick up the if I don't know if I don't have you in my caller ID and just some random number calls me, I'm not picking up the phone. I don't even check my voicemail. like like if you know what I'm saying? If you really need to get a hold of me, calling is not the way. If you want to get a hold of me, send a text, because at least if I don't have you saved in my phone as Jeremy or whatever, if I get a random phone number that calls me, I'm not even going to check the voicemail. I don't care that much. But if you send a text message, at least I can read the text. At least if I don't know, it'll just say a number. If you're not saved in my phone, well, at least I can see, hey, was wondering if you wanted me to come cut your grass tomorrow. Oh, yeah. And then I'll get on the phone, like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing all this other stuff. If I don't know the number, I'm not picking up the phone. Sorry. Let's see what else we got here. Advanced audio eraser, which sounds cool. Functional across all applications like Instagram, Netflix, YouTube. This allows users to suppress background noise through the quick panel. Most of the videos that I watch don't really have background noise. I mean, I get it if you're at a NASCAR race or something, or at a basketball game, but I just never used it. Let's see, Creative Studios, a new dedicated application enabling users to generate drawings, stickers, wallpapers, and innovation cards using text prompts and AI variations with options for further editing. Don't use that. The enhanced Photo Assist feature will offer improved image editing capabilities through text prompts, bringing it closer to modern AI editing expectations directly within the Gallery app. Now, by extending these advanced AI features to older flagship models like the S25 and even the S24 series after that, yes, it's coming to the S24 series, just give them a few months. They got to push it to the S25 series first. Dumb, but that's just what happens. Samsung aims to prolong the usability and appeal of its existing devices. And S24 is still a fantastic device. Hell, even an S23, still pretty good device. Like, you're just not going to have that much lag. The CPUs now, they've gotten so powerful, there's no point in upgrading every year. Although I do, because I'm a fool, but there's really no point. So yeah, these features are going to be coming to older devices. Just, wait a few months and they'll slowly release them out to an older model and an older model. So Bradley says, I could care less about AI. My S24 Ultra has way more than I use. I want hardware. Hopefully the S27 gets battery upgrade with new cameras. If so, I'll buy one. Yeah, that's what I think they need to focus on. I think this AI bubble is just like, it's at the point where it's like, you're not gonna fool us anymore. Because when all this AI stuff first came out, probably a few years ago, I mean, at first you're like, wow, that's really freaking cool. And you may try it a time or two, whether it's on your phone or a computer or a website. You try it, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like I said, draw some stupid bunny ears on my picture and my daughter laughs at it. But then after that, you don't ever use it again. It's like, okay. But Bradley's exactly right. What we do want, don't give us all the AI fluff, because it's just BS. Let's be honest. Like, what real users want is fantastic battery life, fantastic charging speeds, a big, beautiful AMOLED display, and give me top-notch cameras. Like, those 4 or 5 items are at the very core of what a smartphone is. And I think they're kind of getting away from that and focusing on all the stupid AI stuff, when, damn it, if they just gave us a rock solid phone with a nice big display, fast charging, great battery life, phenomenal cameras, and that includes video and still photo, that's all I need. I don't need AI. I need the good photos. I need a good battery. I need fast charging. I need a big, beautiful display. Like, I think they need to focus on those core functionalities and they really won't look. If you, it's like kind of like that movie. What's it called? Field of Dreams. Remember with Kevin Costner? Remember that saying? If you build it, they will come. If you build it, we will come. We will buy it. We will use it. It's just that simple. I don't know what's so hard about. Look, I know the smartphone game is very difficult to get into. I mean, look at Nothing. I'm surprised they've lasted this long. Very hard, but it's kind of like just build a good product, and I'd be more than happy to buy it. I don't care if it's an Oppo, right? With our viewer with the N6, the thing's pretty freaking cool, right? Just give us a good phone and people will buy it. So, I don't know. I'm kind of like frustrated with where phones are at right now, because it's like, why are we still on 5,000 lithium ion batteries at this point? I don't know. Why is this ranked when it comes out number 29 on the best camera phones, when you said it's the best phone, best Consumer Reports rates this the very best phone to buy? Well, why is it ranked number 29 in the world in photo quality? Like, shouldn't it be in the top 5 or the top 10 at least? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's just frustrating. Yeah, and to be honest with you, have you used, Stephen Beck? Have you used the OnePlus 15? Because, and I'm not calling you out. I'm honestly asking, because I think the photo quality is actually better than what people give it shit for. Because remember when those first came out, everybody trashed the cameras. Oh my god, these cameras suck. Oh, the camera's this, the camera's that. When I got mine, I started taking pictures, and I started looking at them. I was like, honestly, these are pretty good. I mean, they're not the best I've seen, but I'm like, these are certainly not trash. I don't know what everybody was talking about, but you do have it. Okay. Yeah, I like them. And the good thing about camera quality, it can get better with time, like with each update. Now, I know OnePlus is kind of closing down shops, laying off people. So hopefully they'll implement, Oppo developers will implement some algorithms and some code to improve the camera quality, because that's what I heard. Oppo developers are going to be assisting the core OnePlus developers from here on out. So hopefully, theoretically, cameras do get better, at least Android. Pixel's done that for years. Camera quality gets better. The phone should be better at 6 months than at 1 or 2 months from it being released. Nothing did that with the phone 2. Phone 2 camera quality when it came out was trash, and it got pretty good over 6 to 8 months. In fact, I think at month 10, I was like, wow, I can see a huge in fact, I did a couple videos a couple years ago in regards to that. So the OnePlus 15, honestly, if you're going to put the S26 Ultra as Consumer Reported best smartphone, you have a good argument. No, you have a fantastic argument that the OnePlus 15 should be the very best phone to buy. Because let's be honest, it's better than an iPhone. I know iPhone will probably take better video quality, but the still photos that iPhones take suck. Well, in my opinion, everything has like an orange tint to it. It's just, I don't know why people like iPhone still photos. I'll give it to them. They do have good video, but the OnePlus 15 beats the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max in every other category. Maybe not in video, but everything else blows the iPhone away. So why can't the OnePlus 15 be Consumer Reports' best phone? In fact, if I had to vote, I would probably pick the OnePlus 15. I'm not even going to lie. Blows it. You cannot tell me the photo quality on the OnePlus 15 is worse than the S26 Ultra. You cannot tell me it's worse. It's probably about the same. Like the S26 Ultra, really not much to brag about when it comes to the camera quality. And from where the OnePlus 15 is, it's if not better than the S26 Ultra. Now I looked to see where the OnePlus 15 is on the DxMO, what are the DxO mark scores. They didn't, I don't remember seeing the OnePlus 15. I went down to I think number 100, and I was like, there's no way the OnePlus 15 is outside the top 100. I just think they didn't test it. But you know, I think my vote would be OnePlus 15. Although I do look for all the shit I'm talking about Samsung, I'm using it as my daily driver, but it's just an all-round good phone. But I don't know. Kind of been thinking about putting my main SIM back in the OnePlus 15. I'm gonna return the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. So all my phone, what I'm gonna use where, my main SIM, my second SIM, all jacked up because I'm gonna return the 4a Pro, the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Yeah, that's very true. Well then, hell, the Oppo Find X9 Pro or X9 Ultra should be the very best phone. Now, you know why they're probably not gonna. You know what? It just hit me. You know why they're probably not gonna do Oppo or OnePlus, or even consider them Consumer Reports, is because they're China-based. I guarantee you. That's why they didn't put. Well, I don't know, but you're right. Then the Oppo Find X9 Ultra should be number one, right? I mean, so maybe y'all are right. Maybe that I see why y'all don't take Consumer Reports that serious anymore. Because I saw this earlier today, and I was like, "What? The S26 Ultra, the very best phone to buy?" I'm like, I don't know about that, but it's a good phone. Don't get me wrong, but the very best, no, nope, 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 nope. Very true. Well, look, guys, I really appreciate your time. It's getting a little late over here, so I'm gonna need to go grab some dinner for the family. But I really appreciate your time. Why don't we do and see? I meant to get I meant to do a giveaway today, and I just forgot. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just forgot. So why don't we do Fun Day Sunday giveaway day tomorrow? We'll do giveaway tomorrow. I'll have to push that back. I gotta get out of here and go get something. But I really appreciate the time. Please, everybody, have a very safe but enjoyable Saturday evening. Join me tomorrow, and we shall do a giveaway. I have no idea what we're gonna talk about, but as you can tell, I don't even need topics. We can just talk. That's what I like about technology. I don't even need topics. We'll just spark up a conversation. So yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much, Bradley. Thank you to you too. Join me tomorrow, and we'll do a giveaway. Peace out. Take care.